Welcome, my friends. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our PMP boss in the building, Cynthia D. She has been working hard on her PMP. It seems like, my goodness, I can't even remember when this journey started for us, because you came on board and it was a lot of effort that you put in just trying to find your buddy Phil wherever he was at that time. And then you came on the program, and look at it today, Cynthia. You are a PMP guru. How does it feel?
Oh my gosh, such a relief.
Wow. You
Yeah.
worked hard. You worked hard. And I had a mantra in the beginning. I'm like, okay, I know Cynthia is going to be on. So I'm going to ask her, has she gone through the tasks? Because, in the beginning, I said, just keep the tasks. You just keep the tasks, because you would come on and you'd say, I don't really know where to start from. And I
Yeah.
would say, just do one little thing a day.
Yeah.
So how did you eventually study? It's been on my mind to ask this question for a while, but I didn't want to jinx anything. So I said, I'm not going to ask Cynthia how she's studying. I believe she's studying great. I believe she's studying in a way that works for her. But tell me, how did you study at the end of the day? How did you divvy it up?
As just breaking it in chunk and making sure I'm doing something each and every day, like having the moment I scheduled for the exam. I remember you saying, I think I was present during someone's lesson to learn, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? How long did you have to put in? And at the end of it all, Phil said, hey, you just do it. Schedule the exam. That will help you, give you the thrill that you need. So, and being the kind of person I am, I don't like to start something and not complete it. So I said, eventually someone has to do it. I have to do it. I already scheduled. I already paid for it. So there's no going. So yeah, the moment I scheduled and I said, oh my God, this is real. It became very real. Like, I think I had like maybe 4 weeks thereabout from the time I scheduled to when I took the exam. So I was just trying to study, trying to say, okay, every day I have to do something. Yeah.
Wow. So tell me like something. I mean, did you have it on a cadence to do initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, or people, process, business, or what were you doing? Like, how did you arrange it? That's my question.
So basically, I knew you've been talking a lot about, the pen book. You say, you gotta do, because I thought I could just like leave it aside and be good. I know what works for one person might not work for the other. So I don't like feeling like there's something missing that I don't know. I'm just that kind of a person. So just that unknown makes me more anxious. So I speed read the pen book, speed read, and then also did the same thing for the Immersion.
Okay.
And the Agile practice guide. So those 3 I did. And then the other thing I started doing was the quizzes, spending like the daily scrum as often as possible. I think I took basically all the Immersion quizzes. I took most of the ones too on the LMS as well. So I did some of the 40 days. I stopped at like day 10, but because it's just a lot of content left, right, center. So, which was like part of my biggest challenge, how to pick and choose. Because when you have a lot of options, it becomes like really crucial that you sequence, you make the right choices.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest challenge, because every day with me there's always something, except you don't show up. If Phil shows up, he's gonna drop something. Yeah, here's this link. Check this. There's always somebody ask a question. Oh, here's this. Go check this. Go read up this. So all that content was good. It was great, but like it also had presented the challenge of use, or else you'll be like a kid in a candy store. So I want all of it. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, I knew that you would figure it out somehow. I knew you would follow one path or do enough. And then when I saw you take that mock exam, I'm like, yeah, she's got this. I'm not even gonna worry. And then as if to console myself, I took a look at experience you had, and I'm like, she's good. She's gonna do it. I'm not gonna worry. And then when you said you were taking the exam, I'm like, yeah, let's just hear the good news. And here we are. But it's a big relief, and I'm so happy for you and your family because I know that everyone supported you and you worked so hard. And I just want to say congrats to your whole family for supporting you and helping you because when you're someone that has so much responsibility going on, and you got kids and stuff, it's hard to stay focused. Little things can just throw you off. Your kid has a bad day, you're going to be thrown off. Your kid's busy, you're going to be thrown off. And then holding it all together as an anchor point, as a working mom, and then you got this thing as well. It's challenging. So I doff my hat to you. And I just want to ask our friends on the call to give a shout out to their colleague. Those folks on the call, you want to give a shout out to Cynthia for the great work that she's done. I want to congratulate her.
They already did.
Oh yeah, they're going to do it again on camera. Come on now. That's how we roll here.
Ty
will come on now.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Cynthia because now I can recognize the face. There was a time I was watching the learning platform and I saw this face like, I don't have time. I don't know how to do it. Then I remember, oh, this is the Cynthia.
Yeah.
Because like combining PMP and and kids, family, work, that was what she was complaining. But now all the stories now over. It's a very big milestone that you've really achieved, and I congratulate you and kudos to your effort.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to echo that sentiment from Taiwo. I just want to say to you, like I say, I have a lot of friends turning 50, all of these friends turning 50. And then we have this thing, welcome to the 50th and Fabulous Club. I just want to say to you, Cynthia, welcome to the PMP and Fabulous Club. Because, we PMP bosses now, girl. I'm so proud of you, but I knew you would do it. I knew. I mean, we were in the daily scrums. We were going through questions, and we were talking about insights and why we think this is the right answer and why we think it isn't. We really, delved deep and got into these tests that you prepared for us, Phil. And I knew she was ready. I didn't know why she took so long to take it. I thought she should have taken it, a month before she took it because she was ready. But she took it when she thought she should do it, and look what she did. She came out of PMP boss. So congratulations again. I'm so proud of you. Welcome to the community, girl. Welcome.
Thank you, Taji.
Thanks, Taji. Thanks, Ty. Well, great stuff. Any silence?
Congratulations, Cynthia.
Yes, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you.
Oh my gosh. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming really quick. Right now, it's about you. We're celebrating you.
Yeah, but Cynthia, tell Lovelace to go ahead and take that daggone test. What's she waiting for?
The late nighters, like daily scrum for wee hours, okay?
Yes, hours.
3 hours, okay?
Hours, yes. Just only last week, we were on until 9:30? And Cynthia had been pulling the midnight oil for, quite a bit, a few weeks. Yeah. So, I mean, we're going through, to Taiji's point, we're going through quizzes and, looking at insights and trying to understand why we picked this, answer over that answer. And, all it was so much fun. We were tired, but we played hard. You played hard, you worked hard, and your hard work paid off. Oh. I am so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lovelace.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for.
Well, I have a question, Phil, because she wouldn't answer it last night because you weren't here. So I'm going to ask your question. Cynthia, since you wouldn't, that first question, like Phil says, when you saw it, how did you feel? Was it like anxiety? Did you go, oh, I got this? And it was smooth sailing from there? Let us know your thoughts.
So when I started, once the clock, I clicked start. Like the first question was like, okay, this makes sense, but I'm not sure. But I picked an answer. I flagged it right there, and I kept on going. Oh yeah. So the first like 5, I think the first session I flagged like, I don't know, maybe like, I think about 5 or so. Yeah. And then the moment I started getting the ones that I didn't have any hesitation about, I just clicked, and like my confidence kind of soared from there. Like, oh, I got it. Like, I don't need to reread. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. So from someone who thought this exam is a beast, were you scared of the exam going in, or did you feel you got it?
Yeah, as of the Wednesday night, I wasn't sure what to feel. Like my emotions were all over the place. My husband's out of town. He sent me a message late my head. You got this. You got this. You know, you got this. I know you got this. I said, oh my God. He said, what's the worst? What's the worst? Can you retake it? If you didn't make it, I just did nothing. I said, well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, because I was nervous, to tell the truth, like on the eve, because I wasn't sure. I haven't taken this before. And when you hear feedback from people who are relatively very smart and been working on projects, so it makes you question yourself. I'm so glad that I didn't take the exam the first time I wanted to. I was clueless. I thought I was good to go based on just doing the 35-hour Udemy course that didn't really have any much content to it, just like garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
So when I enrolled for the immersion, I said, well, this is just going to be a drive-through. That was my mindset. Just a quick revision and I'll be good. Because I already scheduled for the exam before I came up. So I was going to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I attended the class and I'm thinking, half of those means even the terminologies, I didn't even understand what was going on. I said, OMG. I don't like doing this, but I'm very uncomfortable right now. I don't think I'm going to go ahead with this.
Wow,
so,
that was smart.
Honestly, I have no doubt that I would have passed it the first time if I had gone ahead with the date I had chosen initially. Wow. This really helped me greatly. I'm not kidding, Phil. Wow. You are like the chief value officer. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Let's just go over the formalities and the question. So the question is, why torture yourself by doing this kind of stuff? Who gave you the idea in the first place?
Who gave me the idea? I think it was sometime late last year. I think, I'm not sure, sometime last year. I was just thinking there has to be more. Like I needed some more drive. Like I've been working, like my forte is training and development. I love working with people. So I just felt there has to be more. Where I was okay, but I felt like I needed something challenging. I needed to move up. And so I wanted something that could give me the nudge. It's okay, I have this now. It's time to make a move. Yeah. So it's like initially I was like, oh, I'm not sure. But the more, I don't know how I came across the PMP. I think I was just researching and I spoke to someone else, but she's into IT. She said, yeah, this might be a good fit for you because you already have some of the knowledge.
Yes.
And sure. Then when I kind of did some research, I said, oh, okay, actually, I like this. So that was it. And, with the pandemic, people were just like doing all sort of pivot and you have to think outside now, the scope of your location or what you're currently doing and find out what's going to make you more relevant, in the job market. So
yeah. And I noticed you had some diversity and inclusion and a lot of the human stuff, which is why when I looked and I just said, yeah, you're going to do great because you got that interpersonal awareness and understanding and stuff. So good. And let's talk about when you now started dialing in, because it's funny what Taiwo said in the beginning. He heard you on one of the calls and he said, yeah, this lady who said this exam is crazy and it's so much and where do you even start from and all this volume. So let's break down this next question, which dials into how you now finally got into the study habits, how many hours a day, because you're busy. You're always either driving somewhere, taking a kid somewhere, at work, got to go back to work. busy. So tell us, just run through any of the questions on the screen and just tell us how many hours to start with, where you put in a day.
I think so. One of my biggest challenges, I felt like sometimes I felt like I was like whining, was because some people had a relatively flexible schedule.
Yeah.
Where I work, there's no flexibility. There's no flexible hours, so you have to be in the office.
Oh my gosh.
And once you are in the office, I should say till like.
Is it government? Do you work in government? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
the government. So
yeah, no flex.
No flex, which is a pain, So and then once you finish giving that 8.5 hours, after work, you get kids here and there, and by the time you get home, get dinner, the day is gone. Like you're fatigued. And that's where do I start? So, but like to get to this, I think again for that last 4 weeks after I knew this was going to come, I stayed up like there are days I would stay up to like 3 a.m.
What?
2 a.m.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Because I have like by the time I have to get everything else and everybody else settled.
Get them to bed.
Yeah. It was like I couldn't leave this aside because I knew I have to do it. There's no
Oh my gosh.
And other people, people who've done it before. So and it's not like a lifelong thing, you know what I mean?
That's a good mindset.
I said, okay, I have to, put what's just required, right? That pay the price, for this time, get it and be done with it. So yeah, most times, like I said, very late, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, depending until I'm not a coffee drinker, but I started drinking coffee just to help me. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so proud of you for taking the bull by the horns, because I honestly didn't know how you were going to do it, because I knew you're always busy. And when you join, I know, like when you join the daily scrums, you're trying your best to juggle attention in all the right place. And I noticed a lot how you were trying to juggle it all, but I was confident because you were determined. You kept on coming back and coming back. So walk us through the last week to your test, because I know you kind of starting to take our crazy mock exams in advance, and then you finally got to 1 week to the exam. So what did you do 1 week to I remember one of the last calls when you said, I gotta go, I can't wait, I gotta go take some mock exams. So what what were you doing?
So I took the first mock. I scored just about, I don't know, 65%, something like that. And I tried taking it, but then something interrupted me. I was almost done. So I didn't submit it, but then the system, I'm not sure what happened, just took it out. So I just didn't know what to get. I don't have much time to go back and start reviewing this. I left it. I was doing the audio, like when I'm coming back from work, I would listen to Spotify. It has, some short audio on like the processes, so ISOs and all that.
And that's the pmradio.org, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And then the LMS too, we do a lot of quizzes. And whenever I showed up on the daily scrum, Lovelace and Frank would just do, take us, that's time allowed us, those help. And then I think was it like 2 days to the exam, I took the second mock.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took second. Once I got this, okay, this is not bad. But like that helped me kind of like that was a shift for me. Like, okay, I'm getting ready for this exam, because getting to the exam taking mode, because I put that away for some time. But like the moment I started doing those practices consistently or frequently, that helped me. Like, okay, there's because if you haven't taken an exam in a while, it's like you haven't interviewed in a while, you have a job interview, like you feel like, you're like, where do I start? Where do I suddenly feel like a fish out of water? But that helped me, just the quizzes, the practices helped me a lot. Yeah.
Gotcha. And it sounds like the repetition. And I know that a lot of friends were always on the call, like way back. I mean, you were way back when Taji was working on hers, when April was working on hers, like, I mean, way back. So you've been a regular faithful. And then we also had like way back in like July.
That was when
We've
I
been on.
started. I did my immersion in July, and then I took like over a month, like I don't know, 7 weeks there, about almost 2 months
Yeah.
off. I had a lot of other things going on, so I
That's
took that time
crazy.
off. And I kind of panicked because
Mm,
I felt that like I wouldn't be able to catch up. Yeah, because it's not like I don't use this PMP terminology like my job, and I
yeah.
hadn't taken any formal training in PMP whatsoever. So it's just doing the Udemy course and then finding you and just joining that immersion, which means I see the gaps that I had. So that was it for me. So like I took some time off. I wasn't sure if I was going to be. I was like, okay, maybe I don't need this after all. Yeah, I was just thinking about the content. I mean, I didn't know where to start. Pause and all that.
It's crazy. I remember that was a major problem. And I want people to know that Cynthia didn't just get by, she didn't just get by, because, and no offense, because a pass is a pass, I know. But I've also heard of some folks who may get some below targets and just be able to pass. But you really did like awesome in AT, which shows that you really had mastered the content. And that takes me to the next. I've been itching to hear this from you. So when all was said and done, had you kind of compartmentalized, okay, people, I'm good, process, I'm good, business, I'm good. Had you kind of gone through that mental check of people, I'm good, process, I'm good, business, I'm good?
Sort of. And I think the true test is you actually taking questions, doing quizzes. Honestly, you don't know what you know until you get tested.
That's true.
Or what you don't know thereof until you actually get, try it. So the moment I was taking some of those quizzes and I said, okay, I didn't realize I actually knew this. So, okay, that kind of encouraged me. And then if I got somewhere that was hazy and I thought, I knew this, but I missed it, I want to know why, want to know the rationale. So I just I have that curious mind. I hate feeling like something's missing. I hate feeling so. Anytime like a term will pop up that I didn't know about, like I really want to find out what that. Sometimes I will email you that what was this about, just to get that clarity. So the people again, like I said, I didn't really think that was going to be complex or complicated because there are some fundamental principles when working on interaction with people. So I felt like I was okay, or that I'm not PMP. I didn't know how the questions were going to be thrown at me. But like I felt like overall I had some, inkling on what that was about. Process was a little hazy for me. Some areas I would do well, sometimes like I wasn't sure. And then the business too had elements of people because of business didn't occur in a vacuum. It had people.
Right.
The key players execute the business. So I wasn't too worried about that because even like going through the LMS and taking some of those short quizzes before I did, because I eventually used the PMP book. I answered like all the questions at the back to make sure.
Wow,
so
good.
I think doing that helped me a lot.
Oh, for sure. So you took the immersion, people, process, business. Oh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, good.
I stayed on it.
Wow. And then you went on the LMS and you took the 2 mock exams as well.
Yeah.
Wow. You really followed the recipe, because that's we have some students who don't do that. And I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you check and see? And you really did a good job on there's one that you got it in the 90s in, which was good, and you were persistent. You kept on hammering away and chiseling away. And I couldn't figure out how you were studying, what you were studying, but I just knew that you were engaged and active. So when you said the time had come, I was happy. But here's my next question. So people, process, business, now you've totally just clarified. You went to the Immersion book, you did the stuff at the back. What about Agile? How was Agile to you? Did you feel comfortable with Agile? And what about hybrid and predictive?
Yeah, so with the Agile, I went through the Agile Practice Guide. I also did some of the Scrum.org that you
Oh,
recommended.
good. Ken Schwaber's stuff. Good.
Yeah, we even took some quizzes there. Agile, I like the mindset. And when I was going through the book, I really like. I know I spoke to you about it briefly. They want to daily Scrum that I actually like. I'm going to like this for Agile in this book.
I remember you said that. Yeah.
It makes sense. It also has that human resource elements. So a lot of things made sense to me in the Agile. So yes, when I looked at some of the handouts that you had shared, just having the graphic sense, and I will watch some of the videos on YouTube. Yeah, I think it helped me put some of the pieces together.
Awesome. And yeah, one of the things I was stressing, I remember being on one meeting and I was stressing that you don't really need to look at a whole bunch of things. Don't give Jeff Bezos more money. Don't go, just focus on what you have. But the predictive stuff has always been a bone of contention. So let me ask you this, and just don't think too much about it. But what percentage of your exam was Agile and what percentage was predictive in your mind? Or, Agile and hybrid, if you're going to group these together, what percentage would this have been on your test?
If I were to group, I would say hybrid definitely had at least 75% of the questions hybrid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was surprised too. I only saw I don't know, maybe not more than 5 questions that had Scrum mentioned. Scrum
What?
Master. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. And predictive too. Purely predictive wasn't that. It's just like a few. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was mostly hybrid. I said, I think I understand, because from what I've heard that the PMI is trying to really get into really incorporating, Agile and predictive.
So would you say about 25% predict, or would you say less than that? How much would you give Agile, pure Agile?
Pure Agile, not more than 10%.
What?
Not more than 10% pure Agile.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. So I'll just give the rest of the 15% to predictive.
Yes.
So do you see, because when you sent me that email, I'm like, and my intuition told me, don't let Cynthia be reading all this stuff because I don't think it's that relevant. So when you asked me about the plans, remember I just said, I don't really think this is, and I'm glad you didn't waste time on it. But look, you got perfect score, and I'm just so happy and excited. And I feel you've been rewarded because I know you genuinely worked hard and you did everything that you could to stay on top. It was like fighting a bear, just getting your arms around the enormity of the content. It was so annoying, the amount of content you had to deal with. I'm like, how can I make it easier for Cynthia? That was, I remember in the early days, I'll be coming into the meeting. I'm like, how can I make it easier for her? So I used to try to give you some tiny little pieces that would encapsulate the whole thing, just to help you to get a grasp of it. So the ITTOs is another one that I'd like to ask. Did you feel that the ITTOs are overblown? Maybe there's actually not that much emphasis?
Honestly, very little emphasis. I don't know if I even saw any. I think I saw a few that had to do with tools. Yeah, tools and taking a few. But I think you could get by without doing it and be okay if you can.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, even the processes, everything was because I only took a look at the processes, processes in the last week.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know you've been saying you got to know it. You got to know, if you don't know, you have the business being here. But I felt like I had other things to look at first. I wanted to grasp, to have some good basis, before building on it. So I got it. I was practicing. I printed out all the sheets and was like, okay, I think I got. But I was surprised. Nothing. I think I got one. Yeah. But it's just okay. I'm glad that I prepared. It's best you're prepared, overly prepared.
Yeah, because you never know.
Prepared. Yeah, because you just never know.
So when we boil it down, Cynthia, and we take a look at this so-called chapters 1 to 13, so let's say we've got 5 levels of depth, like you've got overview level, then you've got understanding the benefits of each process level, then you've got ITTO level, then you've got just eating up the whole thing level. What level should one kind of be comfortable in? Would you say maybe just at the what is the process? What does it do for me? Why do I do it? But not getting into, oh, which ITTO did I use here?
Yeah,
That
the way
kind of
you
thing.
call it. Yes, honestly, you might end up investing, your time, a big chunk of your time in the wrong area.
Wow. So maybe spend more time understanding the agile pieces, because
Yes.
those are not as okay.
I said most of the questions, the majority of the questions were on stakeholder engagement and communications. Then we had some procurement,
Mm.
a little bit of risk. I think a couple questions cost. I had some questions on quality. Schedule, I'm not sure, maybe 1 or 2, but the majority, the meat and potato, was communication and stakeholders. So that tells you the emphasis on people and that overlap between the predictive and agile, how it impacts like business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say around 35 for these and everything else another?
Yeah. It's fair to say that. It's fair to say that. Yeah, a lot. I was like, oh, a lot.
If you're gonna choose a third area, okay, so let me be fair, because I know resources will feel left out. So maybe I need to break this down into a 25, maybe a 25 for this again, and maybe a 25. Since is that fair to say? Like since the team falls into resources, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would definitely give communication a 30, at least a 30.
Oh wow, give it some more, huh?
Yeah, communication. Yeah, I don't know why that big emphasis on communication and that interaction, how people interact,
Wow.
how you solve conflicts,
It makes sense, because they say that the PM spends up to 70% of the time doing that.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll pull back on that one a little bit. It sounds like, so because we have quality and all the other areas, but they're not as much. Or did they blend them in? Did they blend quality into communications, risk into?
Yeah, there are some questions that would have, like, the main issue has to do with quality, but they want to know how you would communicate that. So now a lot of you are the project lead.
Okay.
The project manager doing this, and then you have to tell the project lead do this, or the scheduler. I said, oh, tell the scheduler to address the scheduling issue.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, okay, yeah. So like the terms were a little, but because I have listened to other people's lessons learned, that came in really deep to prepare my mind, like psychologically, because you have to be, those terms could get twisted, could be expecting something. You can say, okay, in an agile, this is not an organization that's adapting agile, but then you're seeing a project manager there or as a lead.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, if I hadn't heard people saying things like that, I probably would have been confused. Yeah.
One thing I can say that you did, in addition to all the other great work you did, you were a student of the lessons learned that you heard, because I remember you were on so many of the lessons learned and listening to them and asking questions and gaining inspiration. So honestly, I'm just so proud, I guess, because I'm so happy I don't have as many questions as I normally would probe on. So at this point, I'm going to ask our friends to ask you more questions, because I am just so proud and happy. I'm really happy for you, because you worked hard. I've never seen someone like, I know I need to do this, but I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm still going to keep on. I'm going to keep fighting.
I think the biggest one thing I've realized, I think, and that which applies, in life generally, you have to that focus. You have to definitely have a clear starting point. That is key. Like having a GPS, but not knowing where you want to, what the direction you want to actually put to say GPS take me to this place. So that is the key piece, knowing where do I want to go? How do I want to tackle this? You have to find your rhythm. Everybody does this differently.
That's
Everybody
true.
you have to find out, do you have to, some people, an hour a day is good for them. They grab sticks and they move on. But if you find yourself struggling that you need to like read it out loud, play it, do that. What works for you might not work for me. You have to find out what works for you.
Absolutely. And I could tell, I'm sure Cynthia was a very studious person in college because she's taking this very seriously. You show up like a student in college and look at it, success. Well done. Any questions from our friends who are listening?
Cynthia, did you take all your breaks?
I did. I didn't use them up, but I did. It's so like the first break, I wasn't sure what, so I raised my hand. When I clicked submit, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to just get up and I was like, just waited for some time, killed some minutes, but that was fine. I just mostly stretch breaks, but yeah, I did take the 3 breaks. Yeah.
3 breaks? You said 3?
Two breaks.
Oh, 2. I was gonna say. So Cynthia, what about your pacing? Were you like after you took your first break and you had those 60 questions in the first, were you where you wanted to be, or were you like, oh, I'm reading too slow, I need to speed up? Because that's where I was. How was your experience?
So my speed was good. I was kind of surprised because I read like most of the questions, and I would just choose something and move on to the next one. And the one I know, I would just bam, I don't have to come back to it. If I'm not sure, I will flag it and come back. So like the first 60 questions, I was down, like I still had like 170 something minutes left. I took my time to review. Like I was just like waiting, like, yeah, I was surprised. So I was good in time. Yeah. And the second one to the same thing, I had like extra minutes, took my like kind of lazy to just kill time to like reread like the ones I flagged because I knew I had the time. So yeah, I think the really speed reading helped. I didn't take any class of speed reading, so I don't think I'm a pro, but like I think part of it too was during the daily scrum, we would read those questions, lovely. So just like that, really, that helped me a lot. I'll just like super read, oh, okay, they look at the answers. And if I'm still not sure, I'll pick something anyhow, just in case I didn't have enough time to come back to it. That was my mindset. So yeah.
And my second part of my question is, were there any questions that just stumped you? You were like, what is this? Or did every question you had a plan, you were like, oh yeah, I got this? Or were there any questions that stumped you?
There were definitely some questions that stumped me. There's a few questions that it's a little confusing. I had to actually use the highlighter, highlight some keywords so I can focus on that, because sometimes they show, the fluff. I said, what is this question trying to tell me? But that was when I had completed the questions, the 60, but I had the ones I flagged. I wanted to like make sure I knew I was looking at the time. I knew I had time, but like this question didn't make sense. I had to like highlight. I even used what's called the scratch out to scratch off some, because I wanted to just get some things out so I can focus on just like I'll end up with maybe 2 answers that made sense. So I had to use the method of elimination to decide on the final answer. Yeah, I had a few questions like that I wasn't thoroughly sure. I had questions on the, what was it, that 7th edition, something about the students and the, what was it? You have to match. The
student syndrome.
Yes.
Syndrome.
Yes.
So the same one I had.
Yeah,
it was a drag and drop.
Yeah, it was a match. So it's a definition match. Take the term and match to the right definition from left to right, thereabout. I had a Scrum question that was like a match that was really easy peasy about the Scrum. I was like, oh, okay, this is really good. I wish other questions were like that. But yeah, I had a few, not many that I wasn't really sure, but just a few. Yeah, I think they were like from seventh edition, but like I felt, this should just be one of those practice questions that not going to that's not going to be graded.
What made you think it might be the seventh? Was there like kind of like a weird language to it?
Yeah, because I had gone through most of what's on the sixth edition, so I was just surprised, like coming across a term that didn't really ring a bell. Yeah.
Which term was that?
So for one, that's student syndrome, and because like I said, they had a set of, it was one question, but they had like 6 or 5 different terms.
Oh, I get you. And don't worry, we'll keep it high level because I know PMI, they like us, we're sworn to secrecy. Yeah, so student syndrome and Parkinson's Law, I'm gonna say Parkinson's, they're both in the 6th edition. There's some stuff in the 6th that people don't know is in the 6th.
Okay.
But again, yeah, did they use the term model or method at all?
I don't recall.
Yeah, then, I'm not sure that it's entirely 7th, but I've heard someone else say it's 7th, which is why I was asking. But yeah, but thanks for that information. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, a lot of like functional manager, look at a team, something happens, something to do with the pandemic, and they're forced to come back or they're forced to leave the offices. And how would you address something like that to make sure you met, the schedule, things like that. Yeah. Steering committees. I don't know why we had that a lot recurring. Yeah.
That's all in the 6th, in chapter 2 and chapter 1. So yeah. But anyway, look at you. You're a champion. You were able to take it, roll with it, and beat it up. And look, AT.
Hey, Cynthia, answer Phil's question in the chat.
Oh, sure. Yes, ma'am. Sergeant.
I was asking Cynthia, if you took a snack.
I just took sips of water. I didn't take any snack. Yeah. I was more like, my break was more a stretch break than anything. I went like first time I went to the restroom and then second just water, just drank water and stretch because I was having like my shoulder hurt a little bit from the sitting, but that was it. Yeah. I went outside and got some fresh air. So yeah.
I think Corbin has a question.
Hi, Corbin.
Oh, there, Cynthia.
Hi.
I have my question is before you started your first set of 60 questions, did you jot down anything in terms of timing or maybe something to help you through the process groups and knowledge areas or anything to kind of keep you focused throughout the test? But did you?
No. So
you didn't.
So what I did, because I didn't even know what that was for, because I saw like a laminated sheet. It was like a note that was laminated and something like a marker. I didn't know what that was for because they didn't say nothing to me about it. They just gave me a calculator that I might need that. And that was also one calculator I could use on the screen if I needed it. So that was it. So it was after the first 60 when I came back and I kept thinking, I've heard people say you can jot things down, there's no. So I took a look at that, what I had there. So okay, I could do this. So I tried to just map out the processes. So remember, I didn't get into any details, but like, yeah. So I didn't really take that much. I didn't make use of it per se. Yeah. And for the timing, it was more a mental thing. I was like timing myself mentally and I'll take a peek at the time on the clock, on the screen. That was it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
The question, like the last 60 questions, how did you feel? Like, okay, after you've already answered like 120 questions, did you feel somehow like optimistic? Like, I think I got this exam, but normally you'll be doubting yourself, but something might be telling you, I think I can make it. Do you have the sense? Do you have that? Does that, do you think about that, like you're on the right way?
Sort of, because I will tell you that day, the moment I was seated to start the exam, like I wasn't nervous for some reason. I don't know why I wasn't nervous. I was trying to be cool, like, and the moment I started seeing, like, I was answering the questions, and I realized there was nothing that seemed like overblown, that was complicated for me to figure out. I just maintained my, I didn't really worry for some reason. Like after the first 60, the second 60, I felt like, okay, you know what? I've come this far. First thing before I started the next session, I was thinking, is this going to be more complex than the first one? Am I going to get like an ugly surprise? But no, I think they were basically the same pattern. First, second, third, were basically the same pattern. Yeah.
But you felt like the success. It's like doing the mock. You know, sometimes when the first, like the heavy agile based, you know, there was a time I was, you know, answering those questions, and it got to some point like, I think I can have nothing more than 60%. You know, like self-evaluation before the end of the exam. Like, that's what I mean. Man, you have a self-evaluation, like evaluating what you've done so far, where you had a moment, and you're like, I think I'm still on the right path, because all those questions I've been, you know, encountering something I can go about.
Yeah, like I said, overall, I didn't really get just maybe a couple, just maybe some very few questions. I feel like, I'm not really sure where this is going, but overall, I think the questions, the fact that I wasn't thrown off by the question was what kind of gave me that boost. You know what I mean? Like, if let's say I did all the studying and then I'm seeing things that's like a different language entirely, that would really get me rattled and I'll be really disturbed. But like the fact that it felt more like, you know, modern day enterprise kind of scenarios, you know what I mean? So that helped us out. I wasn't nervous that I'm not sure where I'm not sure, but I just that before the session, the new session will begin, I'm just not sure what to expect. But the moment I started and I said, okay, it's basically like the same pattern, you know, with the first and the second, I was okay with it.
Yeah. The second question. Yeah, great that you passed. Okay. What do you think you might have changed? Or how would I say, like, what do you think you might have changed? Probably you didn't pass the exam. Like, what do you think should be changed? How do you, like, what do you think you can do differently? Let me use the word. If probably, or now, you know, you answer those questions and you felt, oh, this side, I think I have some weak points in this area. So what do you think you might have done differently, even if you want to do the Agile exam, the PMP exam over again?
I think I probably have taken it earlier, just the moment, just to focus, get the materials together and stay on target, because what I was able to do in 4 weeks, yeah, if I had done it earlier, I would have taken this exam like, yeah, it's just that, again, I think most times we are our own biggest enemies. Like, we're standing in our own way, like, you know what I mean? So if I put all those things aside, you know, my nervousness of the unknown, which I hate, I hate the unknown, and just, okay, set a target, schedule, and study like this, I think I would have done it way earlier. But I learned a lot from it, because I got to learn from those who were ahead of me, you know, Frank, Taji, April, Cynthia D, just coming back, Chandra, these people that we were taking the village come together and hearing, okay, they did it. And, you know, they studied. I know they studied. There's no magic to it, you know, they studied. So if you do it, study and be consistent, find a reading, I think everybody can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks for the question, Ty. I was just about to beam that on the screen, because I'm like, all right, if you were able to go back to day one of learning about the exam And that was my question, and you've answered it. So that's, yeah, a lot of times you're right. We just procrastinate because,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
the more you
that's
procrastinate, you might
Parkinson's.
forget some things too. Yeah.
That's student syndrome, actually. Just delaying and delaying to the very last
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good deal. Let's see. Any other questions or concerns? I think she's answered all of them, and she's a true boss for showing up at this time.
And what's next, Cynthia? You gonna come join that ACP with me and Chandra? You know, we about to be Agilists. We about to be Agile certified practitioners. You want to come on that journey? What's up? What's next?
See, what's my husband is telling me? Hey, no more school.
That's the most I'm gonna give you for this year. I bet that's what he said. You gotta wait another 5 years for your quota to.
I was just too stressed that I shouldn't do that to myself. Knowing me, that's gonna be hard to do. Like I love to learn. It's just that when you have other competing, interests,
Yeah.
just finding that balance. That's just
We got you. We got you. Don't worry. We have a program called the Project Leaders Club, and it's going to start in 2023, and it's only a 1 a month commitment. It's
Talking about
just
one a
once a
month.
month. Once a month. Just show up once a month, and it's going to be on a weekend, and it's going to be at a time when most people have gotten their family stuff out of the way. So don't worry. We'll
What's
keep
it
you.
about?
So the Project Leadership Institute is like the main thing that we have on Saturdays for some folks and Thursdays, but we realize there are a lot of people who share the same business case that you did, that they're not able to commit on a weekly basis. So instead of having just every week, we're going to chunk some lessons together based on PMI's curriculum. A lot of people don't know PMI have a curriculum outside of PMP for post PMP life. So we at Project Leadership Institute about 3.5 years ago. We took that curriculum and we started training companies, but now we're going to make it available to individuals, and that's going to start in 2023. So you'll hear about it. And then we have coming up, for those people who want to go the extra mile, we have coming up in December. This may be too soon. Definitely your family is not going to like this one, but I'll just let you know, we're going to have training and coaching for those who want to be hybrid coaches. So there's a difference between being pure Agile, I can't coach anything else but that, versus I'm ambidextrous. I can train you in Agile, I can train you in predictive, and I can meld both worlds together. And it's not really training, but it's coaching. So if your organization is going through a transition, you'll be well suited to guide them through it, whether they're transitioning from pure Agile to hybrid, or from pure predictive into hybrid, or from predictive to Agile. So Roy and I are going to be having that in December. So we're going to be making the announcement of the exact date and the time, but that's also available, because there's no point having all this great knowledge. And I appreciate Taji asking the question, because you always got to take it to the next level. There's so many people who are certified. And I agree, it's not as many as we need in the world, but the jobs that are out there, they go to the people who go the extra mile. So you gotta have something else to show. What gives you one up on the next candidate? There's got to be something, either in your skills, either in how you communicate, either in how you lead, in the knowledge you've got. For example, there's some students who come for Microsoft Project training because you need to be equipped to effectively lead schedules. If you say you're a PM, and then you're like, oh, the main tool of scheduling that everyone is used to hearing about, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. So, you know what I mean? So for me, I got my foot in the door in General Dynamics because of my Microsoft Project scheduling ability. They heard I was a PMP, and it's like, okay, you're PMP, but can you run schedules? And the answer was yes, and I got the gig. Just elevated my status immediately from what I was earning before I became PMP to now I'm PMP, and now I've got this. So I encourage people, Taji is right on point, asking the question, what next? You always got to add that zing factor. For some people, the zing factor is leadership. We had someone who came into our Project Leadership Institute as a PMP and ended up getting a contract with the government to train, coach, mentor people in the military for US government. from being a PMP into that, so there's always a next level, and whatever that next level is, you got to find it, you got to do it and pursue it. But we'll give you some time to recover.
Definitely drawn to the people management, like the people.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
I mean,
you
I
go.
have my master's in organizational leadership.
Oh,
and
nice.
I really
Good.
enjoy that place, being that space that I work with people. I help them move from where they are to where they want to be, motivate them, and like conflict issues, and see the best way to get that, like, employee engagement. I just it makes me happy. It makes me happy working with people.
Yeah, go to projectleadershipinstitute.com and just check out some of our curriculum. It may not be for now, and I totally hear your husband and your family on, we need you to help us. The world is going to fall apart without you. Absolutely, it's true.
It's going to rattle me like the PMP. I don't know.
I totally get it. And being an anchor point, although there are ways around it. And like I said, next year, we'll begin to introduce programs that don't have such a heavy commitment, because some of our students, they have kids, but their kids are like in their 20s and teens, late teens. So it's easy. You know what I mean? But for our students who have younger kids, we are putting together programs that can support the at least once a month commitment, as opposed to once a week commitment, and some of our students have multi points in a week commitment. So, but it's all about getting to your goal.
A blend will be good, because for some people, they can definitely do that once a week.
Yes.
And that'll be good for them. For some people, then once a month, having all the content together might be overwhelming again to start breaking down. You know what I mean? So you don't want to put too much space in between from one meeting to the other. You will lose some people.
Yeah. And again, this will interest you, being someone who deals with people. So we have, in the Project Leadership Institute, we have quarterly summits. So in addition to what we're doing in the monthly, we also have quarterly summits. For example, this one Roy and I are doing on Agile Hybrid Coaching is a quarterly summit for PLI. We're also going to have dealing with people you can't stand. We've already had it once. We're going to have it again next year. Dr. Rick Brinkman will come speak to us. And then we're going to have another one before we get a full year cycle, which is dealing with meetings you can't stand. Because there are a lot of meetings that are redundant and useless. So we have a lot of curricula that you can tap into, but just stay tuned in. I know lots of you are on the group on Google, and the idea is to transition into another group now that you're a PMP boss. Not to say you'll forget those who need help to climb out of the crab barrel, but we got to have a group for you folks who are PMPs to just dial in. And we actually have one on LinkedIn, so I'll invite you to that one, Life After the PMP. It's a good deal, Cynthia. I'm really proud. I'm going to let you catch your breath. You've been running for months, and you and your family should be very proud. I'm just so happy for you. Well done.
I am happy and feel, honestly, from the depth of my heart, I am so grateful, because there are a lot of trainers out there. There are a lot of institutions out there, but you just stand out because you are honestly, authentically interested in the success of your students. So that doesn't happen, or it's not common, because most people, it's just about transaction. You pay, I give you, boom, and that's it. Hello. Or you help in any way to help them navigate the hurdle. So you're always present, whether I just sending the motivation or just dishing out, okay, you got to read this and this, you got to watch this video, you got to do this. Checking on them, I don't take that for granted. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
PMP Daily Scrum Tribe. I won't forget you guys. I'm so happy to have met you guys. So hopefully we'll continue.
Congratulations again, Cynthia.
Did you do exam in the morning or in the afternoon?
What did you say?
You examined, was it in the morning or in the afternoon?
8 a.m. That was the first thing. I got up like around 6, got my kids ready for school, drop them off, and got
my gosh. Wow.
And I said, this is the business of the day.
Lordy.
Yeah. You made it. Congratulations.
I think just do it early. Get it out of the way so you can breathe.
Yes, super mom. Well done. Good Lord.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, Cynthia, we appreciate you. And of course, you're going to get a PD for your efforts. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. It's just the beginning.
Yes. Thank you. Gracias. Merci beaucoup. Midawasi.
All right, friends. See you soon.